Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Quisiera reconocerle, presidente de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, y a todos los demás presidentes de Cuba, de Nicaragua y de Bolivia.
Prime ministers, heads of delegation, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, good evening. I first want to congratulate President Maduro on his re-election in July, and to remind him that I was one of the first leaders in the world who sent congratulatory messages to him, having received the publication from the election authorities in Venezuela. And we do recognize you as the constitutionally elected president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And we wish you all the best as you take up another term on January 10th, 2025. President Maduro, I've known you for about 18 or so years, and I've seen you serve President Chavez, and you serve President Chavez dutifully, respectfully, and with great commitment and love. What I admire about you even more is that having assumed the office of President of Venezuela, you have maintained dutifully the mandate of President Chavez to the people of Venezuela and the revolution of Venezuela. You are a man of high integrity, commitment, and love for your people. And I salute you as the President of Venezuela and the Bolivarian Revolution. And rest assured, you have my absolute solidarity, respect, friendship, and love as you maneuver the many challenges imposed upon you and your people by external forces. But we shall prevail, and you shall prevail, and the people of Venezuela shall prevail over adversity. Rest assured that you are not alone, and the people of Venezuela are not alone. I want also to take this opportunity to reaffirm our undying and unwavering solidarity with the government and people of Cuba. A nation that has played an enormous role in global solidarity and assisted so many nations in its efforts towards liberalization and independence. A heroic people, a brave people, and a people whom we have the highest regard for and love for. And we will always lend our voice. We shall never cease or desist from lending our voice to calling on the United States of America to end this unjust blockade against the people of Cuba. And I want to say to all of us that we must never be wary of making that call, because we know that one day the Cuban people will triumph, and we know that justice will triumph over injustice, and we continue to stand in total solidarity with the government and people of Cuba. And of course, we have with us our friends from the state of Palestine. My dear brother, I want to say to you that you are here among friends in the Caribbean and Latin America. We stand in absolute solidarity with the people of Palestine. You have taught all of us what resilience means, what determination means, and what dignity means. And in the face of so many decades of adversity, you have maintained the dignity of your people. And for that, and many other reasons, we stand in absolute solidarity. And one day, you shall sit among us, recognized by the entire world as a truly independent state, the state of Palestine. Today, we gather in Caracas, Venezuela, to observe the 20th anniversary of ALBA. I believe that the world owes Cuba and Venezuela a huge debt of gratitude for giving to the world two leaders who were ahead of the time. Commander Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez, both of whom I had the distinct pleasure as a young man to work with and to learn from. And I believe that we have a duty and obligation to carry on their legacy, carry on their work, carry on their efforts towards bringing dignity to every single citizen in this world, and to ensure that every citizen in this world can enjoy the bounties of this world. And what we have seen ALBA do, and many other cooperation frameworks which were devised by these two distinguished world leaders. We never thought, but many people thought that we would never be here celebrating 20 years. But ALBA has the, because ALBA was created out of a genuine desire towards addressing many of the injustices that the world confronted. And there's no other entity in this world that has such a mandate. We go to many international organizations, and I remember President Chavez and President Castro saying, look, we do not want ALBA to be like any other organization. All of its note-taking and reading of minutes and long speeches, no. It is supposed to be a pragmatic and practical cooperation agreement that is results-oriented, addressing the issues confronting the citizens of not only our space, but the global space. And ALBA has remained true to those ideals. I recall being asked to come to Cuba to have a meeting with President Chavez and President Castro. And I happened to come over a document. I'm not a Spanish-speaking person, but I could understand some of the words in the document. And I recognized that this was an unprecedented document, speaking about the cooperation between Cuba and Venezuela. And I remember saying to President Chavez and President Castro, how do I participate in this agreement? Speaking about fair trade, speaking about complementarity and working together,
y de trabajar juntos para asegurar que todas nuestras personas, todos nuestros pueblos pudieran ser elevados a una vida decente. Y me alegra que eventualmente pude firmar en nombre de mi país, Dominica, y convertirnos en miembro del ALBA. Nunca nos hemos arrepentido de esa decisión. Y les digo a todos ustedes el día de hoy que nuestra decisión es mucho más fuerte hoy que lo que lo era en ese momento. Porque es absolutamente importante que el movimiento progresista, y cuando la gente habla del movimiento progresista, hay algunos que quieren interpretarlo como que es anti esto o anti aquello, pero el movimiento progresista es sobre las injusticias, asegurarse de que la gente pueda vivir con dignidad y respeto, respeto de tu raza,
respecting
tu credo,
race,
tu clase, y que la gente tenga
spirituality, and that
acceso a
people
una vida
have
decente,
access to a
con
decent life
educación,
with
con salud,
education, health,
con trabajo,
with
donde
jobs,
no haya discriminación.
where no
Eso
discrimination
es lo
is
que son los
present.
movimientos
That's what
progresistas.
progressive movements are.
Y eso es lo que trabajamos en
And
el
that's
marco del
what we
ALBA.
are working on
Y es
in the ALBA
absolutamente
framework, and it is
importante
absolutely important
que nosotros nos mantengamos
we
fieles a los principios fundadores de
maintain
ALBA,
loyal to
porque
the
el mundo
principle
necesita
of
la
ALBA,
unidad,
because the world
mucho
needs
más
unity
ahora que
much
antes,
more
mucho más ahora
today
que nunca
than
antes.
never before.
Entre nuestros países,
Among our countries,
y por supuesto no se trata de
and of course,
inmiscuirse en los
it's not
asuntos
about
políticos
to
de otros
intervene
países,
in
pero es
political affairs of other
absolutamente
countries, but
importante que
it
nosotros
is
nos
important that
mantengamos
we
unidos en
maintain
nuestras estructuras políticas,
united in our
porque
political
siempre va a
structures,
haber
because there will
intentos
always
de
be attempts
afuera e incluso desde
from
dentro
abroad
de
and even
generar
from
problemas
inside
que
to
no
generate
existen,
problems
para
that do not
generar
exist,
desunión
to
donde no
generate
existe, porque la
disunity,
realidad es
because in reality,
que hay muchos a quienes no les
many
gusta ver las cosas
don't want to
positivas que el ALBA
see
ha
positive
logrado y
things that
continúa
ALBA
haciendo,
has
y por
achieved
eso
and
quieren
continues to
separar a
do,
nuestros
and that's
países.
why they want to separate our countries.
Para los que presentamos una
For those
visión
who have
progresiva de la
a
vida,
progressive
nosotros tenemos que
side of life, we have to remain united.
tenemos que superar
We
los
have
retos
to
trabajando
overcome
juntos,
challenges working
no
together,
solamente como
not
jefes de
only
Estado
as
y de
heads of
gobierno,
state and government,
sino dentro de
but
nuestras
also
propias estructuras
in
políticas
our
dentro de
own
nuestros
political
países.
structures in our countries,
Porque tenemos que tener
because
esa unidad en nuestras
we
naciones
need
para
that
poder
unity of our
traer unidad
nations
al ALBA
to make
llevar
progress
unidad
in ALBA and bring that progress
a todos los
to
grupos
other
regionales y
groups,
subregionales.
other regions.
20 años después estamos
20
aquí
years later,
y
we are
estoy
here,
comprometido
and
a
I'm
asegurar
committed
que
to
el legado
guarantee
del presidente
the
Chávez
legacy of
y el
Chavez
presidente Fidel Castro
and Fidel Castro
continúe
to
mostrando la
continue
luz en la
showing
oscuridad
light in
y
darkness
traiga esperanza a los que
and
no la
bring
tienen. Ese
hope
es
for those
nuestro
who don't want.
compromiso.
That's
Yo
our
no
commitment.
quiero hablar
I don't
demasiado,
want to talk too
presidente,
much,
pero quiero
President.
decirle a usted
I want
y a
to
todos
say to you
ustedes
and all of you
que tienen nuestra absoluta
that you
solidaridad.
have our solidarity, and Dominica
Nosotros en el sur tenemos
we
diferentes
in the
foros.
south, we have different forums.
En el sur
In the south,
necesitamos
we
líderes
need leaders
que no estén negociando los principios.
who are not negotiating
No
principles.
podemos negociar
We
los
cannot
principios,
negotiate principles.
negociamos palabras.
We negotiate words.
Necesitamos líderes
We
que
need
puedan
leaders
mantenerse
that
de
can
pie
maintain
en contra de la
standing
injusticia.
against
Hay
injustice.
demasiados
There
líderes
are
en
too many
este
leaders
mundo
in this world
que comprometen
that
sus
compromise
visiones filosóficas de la
their
vida,
philosophical
porque
sides
consideran
in life because they consider
lo que los otros pudieran
what
hacer
others
con
could do.
respecto a eso. Y
With respect to
nosotros
that,
en el sur, yo
we in
creo,
the south,
necesitamos
we need
no comprometer
not
nuestros
compromise
valores,
our values,
las cosas que
the
tenemos, por las
things
que tenemos que luchar, tenemos el
what we
deber de
have
luchar.
to fight for.
Nosotros se lo debemos a
We
las próximas
owe it
generaciones,
to the
darles un
following
mejor
generations
mundo
to give them a
del
better
que
world
del cual
in
nosotros
which
heredamos. Muchísimas
we
gracias por su
received
hospitalidad, señor presidente.
inheritance. Thank you,
Siempre es un
Mr.
gran
President.
placer
It is a
venir a
pleasure
Venezuela.
to come to
Para
Venezuela.
mí,
For me,
estar en
Venezuela
es como estar en una
is
parte
as
de
being in
Dominica.
part of Dominica.
No hay fronteras.
There are no
No hay
borders,
diferencias.
no differences.
Aquí estamos entre
Here
amigos
we
y
are
familia.
among families and friends.
Y lo mismo pasa en la
And the
familia
same
del ALBA.
happens
Cada vez
in the
que voy
ALBA
a
family. Every
Nicaragua,
time
a
I go to
Bolivia,
Nicaragua, Bolivia,
a Cuba, a Honduras,
Cuba, and
o
Honduras,
San Vicente,
Saint Vicente,
San
Antigua, Saint
Somos
Kitts
todos
and
lo
Nevis.
mismo,
We are
todos
all
una
the same.
familia
We are
unida,
family,
justa,
united family,
luchando en
fighting
contra de la injusticia,
against injustice,
para darle esperanza
to
a
give
la gente,
hope to
para
people,
eliminar también la pobreza
to
de
eliminate
una vez.
poverty
Larga
once and
vida
for
al
all.
ALBA,
Long
larga
live
vida al legado del
to the
presidente
legacy
Chávez
of
y del presidente
Chavez
Fidel Castro.
and Fidel
Muchísimas
Castro.
gracias.
Thank you very much.
Señor presidente,
And Mr. President,
con respecto a
with respect to the request of the President of Bolivia, I also want to leave early because I have a flight to take.
Entonces, le pido por favor su permiso.
I ask for your permission.